Hello and welcome to Life Outside the Default.
We're Brian and Jen Danger, or Brian and Jen, otherwise known as the Dangers. Asterisk, not dangerous in any way. We just kind of never fit in, and friends gave us the name, and it stuck around.
Welcome to the show. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you today. I appreciate you both being here.
Our
Happy to be
pleasure.
here.
You two have been living the nomad life for 13 years, but prior to that, you lived a very typical life from what I understand. You had a mortgage, debt, student loans, the things that most of us all have.
Yep.
Where did you get such an idea to make such a radical lifestyle change?
I got lucky and fell in love with the Oregon hippie that moved in next door. And you're right, like had all of those things, 5-bedroom house, attic, garage, basement, all packed to the gills with stuff that we never saw and never used. And I was hardcore wrapped up in the hamster wheel, right? Type A, OCD, ADHD. It's just the only thing I ever knew. It was how I was told to be. And then somehow Jen started saying, would it be great if we just quit our jobs and went and lived on a beach in Mexico? And I thought she was crazy or kidding or both. And then as time kept going on, it just became clear she was going to go with her without me. So I had to get on board and figure it out.
Mexico beaches doesn't sound like a bad idea, right?
Yeah. But I was like, well, what is the big plan? What's give me some details. I'm like, no, there's no details. Just camping, nature, ocean, tacos. And then let's see where that rolls us. Where does that take us?
Is that something, Jen, that you've kind of always had a desire to do, or had you already had experience? Like, where did that start for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that I was trying the corporate North America thing, and it just wasn't really feeling like me. Like I felt like I was pretending to be someone, but on the weekends we'd go backpacking or we'd go to the beach, and I was like, yes, this is really living, like nature, fresh air, exercise, wildlife, like yes. And then I'd go back to corporate North America and I'd be like, whoa, this is just feels like the lighting and like the non-freedom, the meetings. There were so many meetings. Like, yeah, there was something inside me that sort of got over it faster than I should have. Like I should have had more endurance.
We tried hard
Yeah,
to fit in, to be normal. I mean, we really did, right? I mean, to this day, super jealous of those people who actually have a job that they love and a life that they love. That's awesome. Like it's so much easier to do that. We just couldn't make it work. I mean, we tried everything from living in different places to working remotely to, I mean, you name it, different positions, different companies. We couldn't do it. And we didn't really think that we were doing it forever when we kind of quit and ran away or drove away. We just looked at it like kind of a sabbatical, right? Like, let's just take some time and go find ourselves. And Jen always kept saying, oh, but we can always come back. Maybe we'll want to come back and take these jobs. And I was like,
maybe.
We're not going to want that. We're not going to be able to do that. It's going to move on without us. Like we're not going to have this skip anymore. Turns out you can always go back. It's a known entity. If you want to do it, it's easy to go back.
Maybe not the exact same company in the exact same city and you live in the exact same neighborhood, but you know what it feels to live that sort of conventional life. That's kind of the thing we've realized now is we could always go back to convention. We just have never chosen to go back to it.
And it's worked. It's worked for you very clearly.
Yeah,
so far.
We feel like we're winning in life.
It definitely looks like it. I really love how you two took that opportunity. You didn't wait for retirement. I think I read in your blog that, Brian, you were 35 years old, right, when you guys took off?
When I first bought into the idea, it became very important for me to do it like before my 35th birthday. So it just became kind of the date, right? And for anybody trying to do this, set a date, like put it on the calendar, circle in a Sharpie. We aborted, once because I got terrified. The housing crisis happened. We weren't getting rent paid to our house that we'd already moved out of. I freaked out. Oddly enough, the universe will always give you reasons not to go or try and scare you into not going. You just got to kind of give yourself a reason and a time to go, because otherwise you'll just always talk yourself out of it. Like it's too easy to stay in the norm that we all know and we're all adjusted to. And everything else is just terrifying, right? At least for me, it was. It wasn't for Jen, but for me, it took a long time to kind of settle in and get used to being outside of that norm, outside the rat race.
It's such a huge difference, especially when you're one of the only people probably doing it, like in your social circle. Not everybody else is doing it. Majority of the other people are going to their job, whether that's corporation or a business or whatever that they own. So it's kind of scary to take that leap and be the only or one of the first ones.
I think it's a little better now, I mean, with the internet and social media, at least you can find inspiration in other people or other people to reach out to. And I mean, we now make a living out of just like tell people it's going to be okay, right? Like go be happy. It's worth it. It's just, it didn't exist when we were doing it, right? I mean, we had read about one other couple that had done something kind of crazy like this. That was it. And so obviously everyone in our circle and outside of our circle just thought we were
nuts.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
We stopped telling people at some point. Like as the planning went along, we just realized we had to stop telling friends, family, coworkers because they were just talking us out of it, right? They were trying, not, I don't think intentionally, but they were terrified for us.
Worried.
And so they were trying to talk to us. We just stopped. We just were like, okay, we'll just call them once we're gone or throw a party once we're gone.
Once you actually left, how did it feel initially?
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we're very different, right? So you're going to hear my side, you're going to hear Brian's side, but I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like we just drive, we stop, we sleep, we decide the next day, do we like it here? Do we stay? Do we move on? Do we want to have like more like longer experiences at this location, or do we want to go see what's around the corner? And it was so simple. I mean, there was no efficiency. There was no like goal. It was just like smooth living, easy living, and then pause me, play Brian.
Well, and even to this day, right now we're on a sailboat and obviously weather impacts things a bit more. But to this day, we still live by that same mantra, like wake up in the morning, check in with yourself, check in with each other. Are you happy where you're at? If so, great. If not, go like as fast as weather allows us to go. And so it kind of stuck. But for me, it took a while. I mean, I was hardwired for the life that we were leading before. It took a long time for me to settle in and not be stressed about the finances, the future, how we're going to pay the bills, what happens if, somebody doesn't pay rent on our house. Those things kept me up. I mean, I didn't sleep well anyway. So, 24/7, I was thinking about those things. And so Jen is sitting with the dog and staring at the ocean and watching the sunset.
Doing absolutely nothing.
And my brain is going. And if you've read some of the blog, you've already heard some of that, right? I mean, I took to the blog as a way to just save images and thoughts for friends and family back home. But really, it turned into just like self-counseling. It really became just like a means of getting it out so that I didn't keep thinking about it. And now we go back and read those same blog posts. I mean, we can hardly believe any of it, right? I mean, it just seems so foreign. And that's actually true year by year. When we go back and read last year, it seems completely like someone else's lifestyle.
Do you feel like you're more comfortable and at ease with it now? Like for other people who are the type A personality as well, is there hope?
Is there hope?
Yes, there is.
Hope, yeah.
Yes, there is. But you can't put a timeline on it, right? And maybe, you can actually seek professional help. It might have been a good idea for me. It might have happened a little faster rather than just, writing. But yeah, it is very much possible because like everything else, change is hard. But practice makes perfect, and you really begin to like settle in and understand. It still comes up from time to time, right? Like we just made a massive change from our old boat to a new boat, and took some time in the middle to go figure out again, what do we really want? We tried out van life again. We tried, putting a foundation under us for a little while, and just kind of left it open to do whatever we really wanted, and somehow we chose this lifestyle again, which has a big price tag with it, at least up front. And so, yeah, like those things, especially in periods of lifestyle change, it still comes up, it still surfaces, but the tools are completely different, right? And I We don't have any answers. Everyone should just know that up front. We don't have any.
We're still just flowing.
We're just figuring out as we go, year by year, and
Yeah.
reinventing as we have to. But now I trust that we'll do that, right? Like, we've reinvented ourselves so many times. We had enough money for what we thought was 1 year living in the middle of nowhere in Mexico eating street tacos, right? And that was almost 14 years ago. So it's working, and we just keep reinventing. And the longer we do it, the more times we have to do it, the more I start to trust that we're going to figure it out and it's going to be okay.
And it looks completely different than what we had ever envisioned. Like, because that's kind of the point is you have this like vision or this goal and you go after it and it leads you somewhere different or leads you like somewhere you never imagined. Keep building on that vision and those goals. And it's really wild, like taking that first step and going after that first idea you have of what you think is going to fulfill you or light you up or give you like the best life ever. That is just one step. And you have no idea. We still don't have any idea how we're going to feel, what we're going to want in like a year. We just listening to ourselves and we just keep moving forward.
And if so, we'll change. Right. I mean,
yeah.
I talk about this a lot, like, I don't know what it's really called, but like bumper bowling, for the kids when they put the bumpers on the sides and, they just toss the ball and it kind of finds its way and eventually it ends up in the center and hits most of the pins. But, unless you're willing to just kind of go off the rails and experience the far sides of what you think you want, you're never going to kind of figure it out in the middle. Right.
Right. I feel like you have to put yourself in places where those opportunities can even be presented.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to find you when you're in your cubicle in an office somewhere.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a perfect point. And to like expand on that a little, when you have a busy lifestyle and you just don't even have time to really like look up or think about like, what do I really want? Or, what are my dreams? Or, what would just be like the best? Then you don't see all the opportunities that are around you. But once you quiet all that noise, there is like crazy amounts of opportunities. Like it's hard to even imagine how many are always flowing that we're just missing all the time because we're focused on work or whatever.
The responsibilities of day-to-day life. So when you made the decision, okay, we're doing this, you made all the necessary changes to be able to drive away and head to Mexico. You were in your 1967 Volkswagen bus at that time, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
I don't know why. Some blog that we stumbled upon or something, some forum mentioned that an old VW bus is the perfect vehicle for the Pan American Highway because anyone can fix it, right? If it breaks down, anybody that has, knows how to fix a toaster oven can fix your bus, right? That did not turn out to be entirely true, but that's what set us down that path. And so as we were doing all the other important things, paying off debt, saving money, trying to figure things out, getting rid of stuff, we also just spent evenings after we got done with other projects, the last year or two, we just spent evenings building out our bus, right? So we would charge up our battery-powered tools, drive down an old dirt road, pull out a couple of sawhorses and some wood and like work for the hour and a half we had until it got dark. But it became our light at the end of the tunnel, right? And that bus broke down every 3 days. I spent more time underneath that bus learning how to fix it because I had no experience on fixing anything, much less an air-cooled engine. But we loved it, and it was lovely, and it was way too small for 2 humans and a big dog, but we didn't care. I mean, we were living our best life, and that thing just was freedom, right? I mean, it is the imagery and icon of freedom. And for us, that's exactly what it became. And I mean, honestly, we look back, obviously we eventually traded to a Sprinter van because it was, almost like a 2-bedroom condo compared to a studio.
And we wanted to be in mountains and in cold weather, and our bus could not go up hills. So obviously we needed something else. And I mean, it's not insulated, right? Like, I mean, we tried to insulate it, but yeah, it's raining inside when it's raining outside.
Yeah.
But our heart is still with that bus, right? I mean, our If we could figure out a way to paint our boat to look like a bus, we would do it. I mean, it just, you get it. It just lives in your soul, right? Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, the sailing lifestyle, the sailing community is close. There's no better community than the VW bus community. I mean, there just isn't.
I agree. I've had a lot of really great personal experiences in the VW community as I've been traveling around in mine. It's truly wonderful. How did you go from the Volkswagen bus, and you said you went to a Sprinter, but then you ended up on a sailboat? What was that journey like?
Well, there's many years in the middle. Yeah, I mean, we drove that bus all the way down to Panama and back. Again, didn't intend to leave Mexico. We just kind of kept exploring. And it was great. Down there, it was perfect other than the breaking down. It just wasn't perfect when we got back to the Pacific Northwest. And so eventually we tried to come back and be normal. Like, again, we tried hard.
Not normal, but we tried to be like
Well,
semi-normal.
we ran out of money. So we tried to come back and like try it again. And then on the flight back, we literally had the conversation like, okay, we know what's going to happen. All of our friends are having kids. Like, we're going to get the jobs. We're going to have the kids. Are we ready for this? And we're like, yeah, let's do
We're
it.
ready for whatever pops up for us. We will listen to, and we will go in that direction. We're open. We're open to what happens.
Turns out the universe steered us hard the opposite direction.
It was like, no, you don't want that.
The more time we spent talking to friends and, love them, love their kids, they were actually telling us not to do it. I mean, it was pretty crazy.
They're like, we're so stoked that you guys decided to not have kids. And we're like, we didn't decide that. We haven't decided yet. I mean, we're in our like late 30s, right? But we're like, we haven't made that. And they're like, oh, well, you should consider not having kids.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Bold, very bold. Yeah, so we came back. We tried to, fit in, followed our passions. We're doing a lot of creative projects. Again, as Jen said, the bus just wasn't as good in a cold climate. And so our credit union, of all people, like sent us a letter that was like, hey, you're pre-approved for a new car loan. And we hadn't had a job for a couple years at this point. And, we were looking actively at other vehicles, but we were thinking like an old taco truck or, something that we could convert into a more comfortable home. And they were just like free interest for 5 years, you're pre-approved. We're like, that's amazing.
But
like,
only on a new vehicle.
Yeah, it had to be a new vehicle.
And we're like, oh man, that sounds dangerous, but let's just see what's out there. And
so we did a little research, bought a Sprinter, flew in to pick it up in Spokane, and literally walked up and we're like, oh my God, like what have we done?
This is like 3 Volkswagens.
Yeah.
But same deal. Like we basically threw an air mattress in there, started living in it and building it out.
First a hammock.
Well, first a hammock,
then
to get home.
An air mattress.
And we just lived in it while we built it out over the last couple of years.
Were you both sleeping in the same hammock?
And the dog.
And the dog.
And the dog. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, our huge yellow Labrador retriever. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, same lifestyle, but with a kind of an upgrade of square footage, right? And, again, we also renovated our garage. We had rented out the house. They weren't using the garage. And so we renovated our garage as a place we could live so that they could keep paying the mortgage. This is an awesome helper for getting out of the rat race for anyone that might be interested. It's a game changer, right? When someone else pays your mortgage and you also have a roof over your head. Pretty good deal. Even before Airbnb, it was a pretty good deal. But then, we fell in love with our neighbors and our neighborhood all over again. But then we also just wanted to be traveling. And so we ended up renting it out so that we could keep traveling. And again, we just kept kind of taking one step at a time and seeing where it went. No plan, no drive, just kept going. And oddly enough, it was also the best life we could imagine while we did it. I mean, at one point we were driven by volleyball. So we spent a few years in Vancouver, BC, playing beach volleyball with our friends.
Every day playing beach volleyball.
And so the Sprinter was so large and comfortable that we wanted to go for the summer to play beach volleyball with our friends. So we rented a driveway, a block off Kitsilano Beach in Vancouver, which is multi-million-dollar homes, one of the nicest often one of the top 5 beaches on the planet. We're renting this driveway for $100 a month. And living next to multimillionaires and go and play volleyball all day. Like, we're like, this is great.
And
like,
it came with Wi-Fi, composting, garbage.
Just saying, the creative works, right? I mean, there are ways to do this if you find the right people, the right place, and you're willing to do it. And we actually did that a couple of summers and then spent, while our friends were busy at work, we'd go drive Alberta and BC and Alaska and, tour wildlife. And that was great. I mean, again, unconventional. You're living in an alleyway. You're going to the park in the morning to hit the restroom and hanging out with the local homeless guys that are giving themselves a shower in the sink. It's not maybe what you would think of as luxurious, but it was the best summer we ever had, right? I mean, I mean, everything's balance, right? It's just a matter of what you're willing to give up in one phase of life in order to have the other.
There's always a little bit of a trade-off there, right?
And let's face it, those guys were awesome. Like, we were on first name basis with most of those guys. Background in their life history. I mean, it's not, all of it's not what you think it is, right? Every phase of life is something different than you think it is. And then that turned into business, helping other people build bands. I mean, it's kind of like our garage turned into a business. I mean, I should say passion project, really.
Yeah.
Helping others do the same thing, because at some point, you get the same thing. You pull into a parking lot or a campground and everybody wants a tour, everybody wants to see the vehicle, right? And so it's amazing how many people you meet and then how many of those opportunities start flying by that Jen mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah. Again, that wouldn't be there if you didn't put yourself in that place in the first place. When you lived in the Sprinter van, did you stay primarily on the West Coast or Pacific Northwest area and you mentioned Canada as well?
Yeah, we did.
I would say the Western North America. Yeah, we toured everything kind of west of the Mississippi. I grew up in the East Coast, don't have a need to go back.
Yeah.
And I used to travel a lot for work, and we're mostly driven by ocean. And so obviously we did spend a couple winters chasing snow, but most of our time was spent on a beach staring at the ocean.
Yeah, or we would, like a friend's getting married, so hey, let's drive 1,000 kilometers to their wedding, and we have our like detached bedroom with us, like we just need a place to park it, or someone's birthday party, or whatever. Like one of our friends would invite us for something silly, and we'd be like, all right, it's maybe gonna take us 5 days to get there, but we're coming.
And then you get to explore that area while you're there, which is neat. Whose idea was it to live on a sailboat?
Ooh, I don't think
It must have been the dogs.
That way. I think at that point we were fully like gelled into almost one being.
Yeah.
And it came simultaneously.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with being drawn to the ocean, I think. Like, I still remember even that very first couple of months in the bus. Like, we're hanging out under a palapa on a beach in Baja. And what are we doing? We're staring at this catamaran in the bay thinking that must be the perfect life. That probably doesn't break down every 3 days. That's probably not true. We just always kind of were drawn to it, right? And we'd be walking the docks, walking through marinas, looking at boats. Like, we never thought we'd live on one because we didn't know how to sail one. We didn't know how to take care of one.
Yeah.
But we also didn't know how to take care of a van before we moved into it, right? And yeah, we're actually driving through Alaska and just standing around a campfire. Never forget it. There was one other van in the campground, and he came out and stood around the fire with us, and he was just bitter and miserable. And finally, we're like, hey, man, like, what's going on? Like, this is a pretty sweet lifestyle, right?
Tell us your story.
And he was just mad because he wanted to be on a boat. And we're like, well, then why aren't you on a boat? And he's like, well, I'm too old. My body's breaking down. I can't do it. And so we just kept hanging out. And then we went back to the van and had a really deep conversation. Like, wow, we've always had this dream. Used to be a lotto commercial in BC that was all about like this woman like waking up and having coffee and fixing her hand. And she walks out, she's on a yacht in the middle of the ocean.
Sailing offshore.
Like, that's probably why we own a boat, is that Lotto 649 commercial. But
probably.
Would have helped if we won the lottery, but we didn't. And so we went back and we talked about it, and we were just like, wow, like, we can't wait until later if we want to try that lifestyle, because you need to be young enough to do it. And so we made an offer on a boat 3 days later, sight unseen. Again, no idea how to sail it, no idea what to do with it. Just decided that it was the right time. And we just, again, opportunities kind of float by, right? We had just gotten lucky. We pulled out equity on our house to do another project. And then the city basically said, you can't do that project. And so we had the equity, the cash. I'm like, well, we don't know what we're going to do with it yet. We have to figure out an investment. Boat is not an investment. Let's be very clear. That's a depreciating asset, not an appreciating asset. We didn't realize quite how true that was, but we did it anyway. And it's oddly about the same lifestyle as van life. You just happen to be in more proximity to the water, which turns out we are very driven by.
Because you had lived in the van and then you moved to a sailboat, would you say it was somewhat of an easier transition than if you probably would have went from your house directly to the sailboat?
100%. Yeah. In fact, we met a lot of people that, because we got our boat in Florida, and then the first place you go is the Bahamas. And there's a lot of new sailors also kind of doing that same thing, the Bahamas and the Caribbean first, because it's an easier sailing destination than some of the other places in the world. And a lot of people were really struggling because they hadn't ever lived in close quarters with their significant other, or small spaces at all. So lots of adjustment was needed for them, but we didn't have to worry about that at all. We were like, this is too big, right? We don't need all this stuff, but I mean, you do. You need the safety and tools and the parts and everything, so you can fix things as soon as they break. But yeah, we didn't
For us, it was an
have.
upgrade.
Yeah.
It's like we went from a studio to a 2-bedroom, right? But yeah, people, I mean, it's really interesting, right? All these couples that we met, many that turned around and went home and just were like, this isn't it for us.
Changed our mind.
But they had planned on it for 40 years or 30 years, or like it was their goal. It was their dream retirement. As soon as the kids go away to college, we're going to sell the house, quit the jobs, and go live in a boat, which is great. But many of them had never taken the time to charter a boat. Certainly never took the time to like live in small quarters, much less small quarters with another human that you may or may not know that well because, you work full-time jobs and raise kids together and then go to bed, right? And so it's amazing how many people kind of just went back and they, which is great. If they're happier being back there, that's fantastic. It just kind of boggles the mind. Like, well, you didn't want to try it out first. You didn't want to try living in a smaller space. You didn't want to try sailing on weekends. And again, for the people we talk to, they love their job. If they're still X years away, what an awesome way to spend your time. If you've got a dream, whatever that dream is, why wouldn't you spend your holidays, weekends, evenings learning and doing and enjoying that thing that you think you're passionate about, right? So, I mean, there's another lesson, right? Like do it now. You don't have to do it full time right now if you aren't ready yet, but start doing the thing, start moving into smaller spaces. We didn't go from a 5-bedroom house to a beat up bus, right? We went from a 5-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom apartment, to a 1-bedroom apartment, to an underground studio that you could honestly step from the kitchen to the couch and the couch to the bathroom, right? Like we downsized progressively to make sure we could fit and do it. And I don't know, it's important, right? To take those baby steps.
Ease into the lifestyle as best you can. Going back to your conversation with that gentleman around the campfire in Alaska, that's a very sobering comment from him. He's reached the age where he can no longer do what he wanted to do because we only get one life. So once that time has passed, you don't get it back.
That we know of.
Yeah.
That
And
we know of.
He said those words to us when we were feeling so amazing in our van. Like, we're like, this is the best life ever. We're seeing like, baby foxes and baby moose and like the wildlife is crazy. We're free. We can do whatever we want. We're feeling so good. And we realized we can do this when we're older, but we might not be able to sail offshore in crazy weather, you know, in like, yeah, we might not be able to do that later. So let's flip our dream, do it now, and then we can van life later.
Yeah, I think that's a great approach.
And we may still van life later.
Yeah.
But I mean, we all have those things, right? I mean, sadly, whether it's a family member getting ill or a coworker passing away or a guy you meet around a fire, like we all have those really sobering moments that remind us that life is really short. But then we go right back to work the next day, or we go right back to doing what we do, right? We shake it off as best we can, and we try to just put our head down. And I don't know. I mean, at least for us, even the one of us that was so stressed out about doing this, it's really hard to imagine now going back, right? Like the one commodity, everybody's always like, well, what happens when you run out of money? Which we've now done three or four times, to be fair.
But we don't
Uh,
know, but we keep figuring it out.
or what happens if you don't have money for your retirement, right? I mean, that's always the intent of the question. And now I'm just like, well, what if you don't make it to retirement? Like, what if you don't make it to spend all those dollars, right? I mean, to me, that's more terrifying than the other path. And I think it just comes down to, what are you more terrified by, right? Are you more terrified of running out of money later, or are you more terrified of running out of time before you get to spend it? And for us now, that's a pretty easy answer.
It's definitely something to think about. I like the way, that you're framing that. What happens if you run out of time? That's really, really good way to put it.
You can always make more money.
Yes, that's
Can't
what I was thinking.
necessarily make more time.
You can always find a job somewhere, and it might not be the job necessarily you want, but you can always find a way to make income if you need to. Even in your older years, there's lots of things you can do to make money, but like you said, you don't always have that time.
And you might be really surprised, right? I mean, we spend a lot of time now on beaches and islands, and I look at dive instructors, scuba dive instructors, like that would have been my perfect job,
You didn't.
right? What existed at the time, right? All the people that come in on work on these yachts full time. I mean, there's so many jobs that can be done in these lifestyles. And that's not to say our lifestyle is the right one for everyone, but there is still a way to do X and make money at it. And now there's a way to live X and make money doing something else completely remotely, right? Which was not an option when we started, but it certainly is now. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get to the same place, a lot of different paths to get to the same destination.
In all your travels to the various countries, in the bus going to Mexico and then the sailboat, did you ever feel like your safety was at risk? I feel like a thing that a lot of people are concerned about. Is it safe?
Yeah, so when we first went to Mexico, we were living in Canada when we quit our jobs and left, and Canadians were still traveling to Mexico. But the US, like the media was so crazy and was like, do not go to Mexico. It's so dangerous. And so all of our US friends and family were like, what are you doing? You should not be going. And we're like, no, everyone here is going there on vacation. It's fine. But we had some moments when we were in Mexico, those voices were in our head. But in reality, I don't think that we were ever in any kind of danger. You hear stories, but those stories could happen anywhere. Like, while we were in Mexico, in what was supposed to be a dangerous area, there was a lot of bad things happening in Brian's hometown. Like, it's like, it could happen anywhere. So we never felt like our lives were in danger, but we did sometimes put up the radar and put up the, like, let's be really vigilant, let's be really cautious. But I'm not sure it was necessary. And then on the boat, there have been a couple times where same thing, you hear stories of, like, bad people doing bad things and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so we're like, oh, is this one of those moments? But no, we were fine. Everything was fine. It was probably just, again, the voices and the noise more than anything.
By and large, people are good and kind. And I mean, especially in Mexico and Central America, I mean, we were so well taken care of. Like our bus would break down and some family would come by and
save us.
save us, like tow us back to their house and let us stay in their yard and come inside for meals in the bathroom. I mean, it's absolutely crazy that we're terrified of them. They should be terrified of us in most cases, right?
Oh, the woman, the Mariposa woman.
Yeah.
There was one woman that we were going down a road. We didn't know it was a driveway. We thought it was just like, some random little dirt road.
And we're in
And
the state that was the key of the cartel action at the time,
Michoacan at the time. Yeah.
So our radar was up, right?
Yeah. And we're just looking, it's starting to get like the sun's starting to go down. So we're just looking for a place to pull over, make some dinner, go to sleep. Like we're really mellow, right? And then we come across, it's a dead end, someone's house. And this woman thought that we were dangerous. And like, it was just really eye opening. Like, we're supposed to be afraid and she's afraid of us. And we are not trying to whatever. Anyway, she ended up letting us park, but she wanted us away from her house. I think it was because we had a dog.
Yeah, I think the dog won her over because
Yeah.
she had like a kitten that was like walking around her neck while she collected eggs or whatever. And then like Jen, she ended up giving Jen some eggs, and Jen gave her some
an avocado. Yeah, she was stoked. So,
Yeah,
but she was still worried. Like she had heard bad things about people maybe in Volkswagens or maybe American. I don't know, but anyway, it was interesting.
Yeah, a smile goes a long way.
Yeah.
And believing in the best in others goes a long way. And yeah, I mean, knock wood. We literally face forward with that and tend to get that in return everywhere we've gone on the planet, which is now a lot of places.
I just felt a big part of it is how you show up first, is how other people show up for you. And good, heartwarming stories don't always get the attention on the media that scary stories do. So I think we tend to hear more of that for that reason.
Well, we don't have a YouTube channel. I mean, we also don't like being on video very well, but which is kind of a non-starter. But people love the drama, right? People want drama. They want, negativity. They want chaos. And our entire life is about getting rid of those
let's
things,
have peace
right?
and joy and harmony.
I'm sure the money would be really nice, don't get me wrong, but if that's what you have to do, and we see a lot of sailors doing that, no thanks. Like we're out.
I was wondering why you didn't have a YouTube channel.
Those two reasons do it pretty well. We're trying to get more comfortable being in front of camera or just talking, because we do enjoy telling our story and sharing with others and helping other people to, take steps towards finding their own freedom.
Yeah.
It's a passion, but we're looking for ways to do it that are a little different. And, we're open to ideas. If you or anyone else has them, we have not found the best platform or media for doing it yet, but a long extended YouTube video that has to be out every week and comes with lots of editing and everything else, that's just probably never going to happen, if I'm honest. I mean, if we found someone who just was willing to take all of our photos and videos and edit them all together into beautiful videos, that'd be a match made in heaven, right? We just haven't found it.
Do you have a favorite story of any of your travels, like a favorite moment that you like to share?
Well, the first one that pops up, there's so many actually, but the first one that popped up is we had some friends on board with us, and we were sailing away from St. Lucia, and the Grand Tetons and how epic beautiful it is. And there's a rainbow off to like our starboard, off to our right, that's just so glowing, so bright. And the four of us are all just taking pictures and like, wow, this is the best day ever. And then dolphins start jumping underneath the rainbow. And we're just like, wow, this is like nature showing off big time right now.
And then we look the other way and there's a squall.
There's a
skies are dark. There's a massive storm
a wall
coming
of
in,
rain and wind and a wave,
which is kind of how life on a boat goes, right? It's literally the best of times followed by the worst of times with about 2 seconds in between.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that goes. Yeah, that's a good story.
But we have
Millions.
so many, like, for me, it's really about nature and wildlife. Like, we've had so many experiences where we're just out somewhere by ourselves, and we probably shouldn't even be there, but the animals and nature is doing its show and doing its beauty, and we are just in the right place. and getting to like witness this like amazing thing that would have happened whether we were there or not, right? So has nothing to do with us. We just luckily
Got to take it
get to
in.
be a part of it.
Right place at the right time. So you had mentioned previously that you initially weren't child free. You were like, well, we might have them later, maybe return, go back into the more typical lifestyle. At what point did you make that decision that
Yeah.
you
I
didn't
mean, we
want to
actually
have
knew we
children?
would have them.
We for sure were going to have kids.
Yeah.
That's what we thought.
There might have been a slight debate about how many, to be fair.
I was
yeah,
kind
like,
of a lonely kid, so I'm like, we should have like 4. And Brian's like, what are you saying? I'm like, well, you're right. That's crazy, but
I mean, when we had that house, right?
the
Massive
5-bedroom
I don't even,
house,
it's so hard to imagine what we would do in a 5 bedroom.
huge yard.
But we had this house, lovely house in Portland, Oregon, old Portland Foursquare that we were renovating in nights and weekends. We full on thought we would have X number of kids, a couple of dogs, live all of our days in that house, die in that house, and give it to the kids. I mean, that it was just a given that that's the path that we wanted, because that's the path we had been told that we wanted.
But we were always like 3 to 5 years. Let's have
3 to
kids
5
in
years.
3 to 5 years. And so then when I turned, 38 or 40 or something, we were like, this 3 to 5 year thing, we either are saying, that we're okay with no if we are not saying yes now. And it was a pretty actually easy decision. I mean, we made sure we like searched ourselves enough, but it felt 100% right to say, you know what, we're not ready. Let's adopt later if we decide that we want a child and I'm too old to have a baby, whatever. Let's look at adopting. And so that's where we went. And
Which also still sounds lovely. Like,
yeah.
I think the more time goes on, the less we can imagine doing that as well. But certainly at the time, I mean, didn't seem any different than having a child of our own to us. In fact, in many ways, it might be even better. And so, yeah, it wasn't even a difficult conversation, I think.
No, we both needed to make sure that like, we're making a forever decision. Are we happy with it? Is there anything that we need to talk about or work through to make sure we don't regret it later or wish that we would have said more words or whatever? And so I think we gave it some real like due diligence, but neither one of us, I think that we were both really aligned that let's stay free. Let's focus on our relationship. Let's not bring a child into our relationship, into the world. Let's just let's keep going towards freedom and passion and see about that kind of life.
And zero regrets. I mean, I think part of the lifestyle we've chosen to live is having no regrets. I mean, at some point, if you wake up every morning and choose what you want to do that day, it's pretty hard to do anything long enough that you can regret it, right? That is obviously a bigger and more, I guess, profound decision than most. Where are we going to go next? What type of vehicle do we want to live in? Do we want a house, right? But at some point, you can always go back. You can always go try the other thing. You can always do something else, as long as you just keep listening to yourself and doing what feels right that day or tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and just to add to what Bry's saying, like, if someone wants to have kids, oh my gosh, have kids. If
Please.
somebody wants to like wear a suit and go on the 100th floor of that skyrise and work their butt off to get promotions and become the next CEO, do that. The point is there's not a right way. It's only right what feels right to you individually, and that you listen to yourself and you live your one life as fully and as passionately the things that light you up. And for us, it was nature and it was being together as much as possible. And for other people, it can be completely different, and we support them.
We're thrilled for you.
We're thrilled for them.
I love that self-study that's involved in that, like looking, what do I want personally? And then as a couple coming together and discussing it as well and leaving it open. I love how you guys have lived your life like, well, this is what we're doing now. It could change tomorrow. It could change next month, next year, but not putting yourself in these like restrictions that don't need to be there, you know?
Yeah.
What does leaving a legacy mean to you both? A lot of times people say, I want to leave my legacy to my child, whatever that may be. So without a child, what does that mean to you?
It's an excellent question. It's not something we spend a lot of time talking about. I mean, I guess just another aspect of the life we've chosen to lead is that it's very today focused, right? Like we make decisions for today. We barely ever know where we're going to be a week from now, much less a month, a year, 2 years. But I would also say that it seems foreign to me that that would be attached to having a kid, right? I feel like there are so many people. I mean, our community, the more we travel, the larger our community gets. It's incredible, right? The number of different people from different places, from all walks of life that we meet, and the impact that those people have on us, and hopefully the impact that we have on those people is incredible, right? Like, I would never have taken the time to think that not having a kid somehow was limiting in terms of what we could provide to other people or to the world, right? No doubt we could do more, right? No doubt we could be more political or more activist, or there's certainly many things that we just shy away from because we just don't have the capital to do them. And obviously we're very remote most of the time. And so we spend a lot more time with fish and animals than we do people.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
To me, that concept seems a little foreign, right? That somehow you're limited in the impact that you can have just because you don't have offspring or blood offspring, I guess, either way, right? I don't know what you can say.
Well, it's kind of along the same lines, but like, I guess approaching it completely different. Like, uh, we believe that we all inspire each other and we all touch each other. And like, I walk through the streets of, we're in Gibraltar, and like, I am saying hi to people and smiling, and you just don't know if someone's having a bad day, a good day. Like, like treat people with kindness, maybe bring joy in a small way. Like a smile can go a long way. Like a conversation with an elderly person can maybe be like a highlight of their day. Like just the way that we move through life, we're trying to always make things a little bit brighter, a little bit better, a little bit more inspired. And I think that energy is contagious. So I don't think of it as my legacy, but I think of it as how we like impact, this ripple effect thing. Like you turn someone's day around without even knowing it. They turn someone's day around without even knowing it. Like there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of like heartache. There's a lot of pain. Being a human is really
Really hard.
hard.
Yes.
Like, like when 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 energy levels are high and we walk through the world and we give it out there to the people where their energy levels are low, that is like pretty impactful. And you don't need a thank you, and you don't even need to necessarily know you're doing it if you believe that it's happening behind the scenes.
I mean, I think all any of us get to leave behind is our story and how we make other people feel, right?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I guess we just prefer to focus on that every day while we're here rather than what are we leaving when we're not here, right? It's a good question, though. Really good
Yeah,
question.
it is, and I know that a lot of people probably have real clarity about the legacy, like it's really important to them. And I think for us, it's not real that's not really our focus. Our focus is more like Brian was saying, presence and, every day and
I couldn't agree more. You're making the world a better place just with small little activities throughout the day.
Hopefully we all are.
hopefully we all are, yeah.
Hey, you never know what that smile can do for somebody that you're passing on the street.
It's so true. Yeah. Or like just a small gesture can really like somebody can hold that like deeply and you don't even know that it didn't mean as much It meant more than you could ever imagine, I guess is what I mean to say.
And Jen kind of does this implicitly, right? It's part of who she is as a human. It is not something that came natural for me, right? So for me, it's actually one of the many things that I'm trying to learn from Jen year after year after year, right?
Mm.
It's so awesome to live with someone that's just inherently good and doing good and watching how other people light up just in their presence. And you're like, I want to be more like that. Of course I want to be more like that. Like that's a pretty good goal. So yeah, it's an active practice, just like everything else.
You hit the lottery when she moved in next door. You didn't know it at the time, but
No,
You have no idea.
there have been some struggles too, but we don't need to get those.
I'm sure we all have them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we do spend 24/7 living together in very small spaces, and we've done that for almost 14 years now.
Longer. That's
Um,
just on wheels.
you're right. So, I mean, yes, I guess there are things that have to be figured out, but at this point, we would love to get more hours in a day, right? I mean, you figure it out. Communication is obviously very important here, right? But, man, we wouldn't have it any other way.
The testament in itself. You survived, you're still smiling.
Blissfully.
If you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice, if they would like to make some changes in their life, no matter how big or how small, but to live more in tune with who they are or who they want to be, what advice would you like to leave them with?
It's good.
It's your specialty.
I've got a million of those. No, I guess the first thing is do something today or tomorrow that leads you in that direction. You don't have to take a ginormous step. Just start moving energetically. Just start taking action in that way. Like little things add up. It doesn't have to be like, oh no, I'm going to wait till 3 years from now and then I'm going to do this giant thing. It can be like, well, you know what? For the next 2 months, I'm going to focus on this because I think that is going to lead me closer to this life or this place or this job or this hobby or this instrument, whatever it is. Just move, just don't freeze.
Yeah, well said. I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? Like a step in any direction is closer to where you're going, even if it's in the wrong direction, right? You may think you want to go over there and you step the opposite direction. At least you moved,
Yeah.
right? At least for
You
us
learn.
and most people we meet, we're all frozen. We felt so stuck. Like there was no word we used more back then than stuck.
Yeah.
And we never met anybody that told us which way to go. We never read a book that told us which way to go. We just couldn't figure out what the steps were to get there. It turns out any steps will get you there. You just have to start changing where you're at so that you're not stuck. And a step in the wrong direction will bounce you off the rail and send you back the other way, right? If you take the pressure off of getting it right and doing it all at once, it's actually not so hard, right?
Yeah.
Million steps make up that journey, right? And
this is a good
most
segue.
of them are wrong.
I have another one.
Oh, here we go.
Really good segue, Bri. So any decision that you make is not a forever decision. It's a decision you're making and you're going to learn how you feel once you go in that direction. And you can always adjust. You can shift, big shift, small shift. You can take a step back. Whoa, that was like too aggressive. But any decision you make is just so you learn more, so you listen to what happens when you make that step.
And stop taking advice from people that haven't been where you want to go.
Oh, that's good.
There's a lot of people out there. We didn't realize this, right? There's a lot of people out there living the lifestyle that we wanted. A lot of people living whatever lifestyle it is that you're after. Find those people and ask them. Most of them have plenty of time. They're happy to answer because it's like us. We love talking about our passions. So talking to people about their lifestyle, whether it's living in a camper van or building out a sprinter van or living on a boat, yes, please, right? Let's build a campfire and talk about that all day. So we're constantly amazed when people are afraid to reach out and ask questions. Like why? I think we were too, but it's kind of an epiphany, right? That people love talking about the things that they love, find people that love the same things and ask all the questions. And if anyone didn't get it, if you have questions that we might know something about, please ask. We're happy to have those conversations, right? It's a part of the process, right? It's all community. It's all about common passions and goals. And if you spend your days working with a group of people that don't share your passions, and then your afternoons and evenings with the same group of people or people that don't share them, how do you figure out how to follow them? I don't know. We never figured it out, and we just left. And now we realize there's so many people out there that actually would be happy to talk about those things. Yeah.
So if people would like to ask you questions, it's a perfect segue. How can they reach out to you?
Our life's pretty much an open book. We do have a blog that doesn't get as updated as it should, but we're getting better. That's simply The Dangers with a Z or a Z at the end.com. You can feel free to follow us on Instagram at the same address, which is The Dangers, and or reach out in any way that you can find us. We're happy to post all of our contacts. And again, we love having these conversations. So thank you for allowing us to have one of them right here.
We're really passionate when people want to go after like their wildest dreams.
We need people like you to share the stories, to say, you can do it. It's okay. Yes, there's going to be challenges, but yes, you can do it. It's very important.
We really believe that.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You guys, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Can't tell you what it's going to look like. And it may be really several years along the way. But it's going to be okay. Better than you ever imagined.
Thank you so much for your time and for coming on and sharing your story and being open to the conversation. Really do appreciate you too.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.